Hey, Susan Palmer of Lead Cat Press. This is my weekly studio update. That was a little bit of Van Halen's Jump with, I'm playing through a little Boss synthesizer pedal. I'll put the link below. I've also got a Dark Side and a Carbon copy. I'll put those links below too. I'm not a pedal expert, but just so you know kind of what that sound is. So yeah, thanks for tuning in. Lots of stuff going on in my studio as always. That riff came up in one of my lessons this week as we were talking about triad inversions, and I was just looking for another application. I know my students work so hard on all the drill exercises that I give them, and that you can find too if you have the Guitar Lesson Companion. So what's going on in that riff? I'm going to turn off the synth pedal here. I've got a G triad in root position, and followed by a C triad in second inversion. So that means that the fifth, or the note G, is in the lowest position. Also, I should say I'm using the D, G, and B strings here. Then I have this F chord here. This is another root position, so just like that G triad we have, so both of those are in root position. Then I have another F chord, this time in second inversion, so the fifth, or the note C, is our lowest position, our lowest note in that. And then I'm playing a C suspended 2 chord, so that's kind of a new thing. So the C triad in root position would be right here. I've got the notes C, E, and G. And with the suspended, I'm taking away that third. I'm replacing it with the second there. The other two fingers I have to kind of rearrange on the fretboard to accommodate that. So basically that note E moves down a whole step to the note D, but those other two notes, the C and the G, stay the same. But we get this cool kind of open or spacey sound. And that's the deal with those suspended chords. Like, they're neither major nor minor because they're usually replacing the third of the chords. And the third of a chord tells us if we're playing a major chord or a minor chord. So we could have, in this case, we're using a suspended 2. We've replaced that third with the second. We could also have a suspended 4. So that would be, that note F instead of the note E. And again, that suspension there, that's kind of creating some tension. And oftentimes that will resolve to a major triad. Oh, that relief. There's a tension, there's a relief. But it can also resolve to a minor inversion, or a minor chord there, a minor triad. So those suspendeds take the place of the third by either replacing it with a second or a fourth. So notice that the 2 and the 4 are the two numbers that surround the note, or the number 3. Numbers, notes, they're all the same to me. So you have a 2 or a 4 replacing the third, and it creates some tension there. They can be interpreted as major chords or minor chords. They're basically just kind of hanging out and, feeling that suspense right there. So that's kind of the deal with those. With my Catholic upbringing, I must say that the holiest chord, if you haven't heard of what the holiest chord is, that is G sus. So I don't know if it's a G sus 2 or a G sus 4, but the holiest chord is a G sus. So yeah, I should be a comedian, I know. But anyways, teaching guitar lessons here. And the other thing that happened this week was that another university contacted me about the Guitar Lesson Companion. They may want to use that in their music program. It's a big music program. I'm really excited about that. And I'll keep you posted with what's happening on that front. But right now, I've got faculty at Berklee College of Music recommending this book to their students. And Long Island University, which I talked about last week, they are also using the book for their lessons. And I'm just thrilled because, when I wrote this and when I was using it with my students at Seattle U, I thought it would be such a great fit for, students who wanted to learn the fundamentals of music and apply it to more contemporary music. And so I'm just thrilled with these universities reaching out to me about this book, that they're trying to find something that is more up to date than things like, well, I'm not going to mention the other method books. You can do a search for those, but a little more up to date. And also, one thing I really like about it is that you won't find songs like Mary Had a Little Lamb. And, because I don't I didn't want to mess with any copyrights. I know Mary Had a Little Lamb doesn't have a copyright, but I didn't want to mess with any copyrights. And two, I wanted students to be able to read music and to learn music, not based on what they think it sounds like. So a lot of times if you're learning to play Mary Had a Little Lamb, you would hear that and kind of be able to figure it out by ear rather than learning how to read those notes on the page. So that's another plug for the book. If you don't have one yet, I would pick one up. I anticipate my orders getting a lot. I've got a lot of books prepped and ready to go for these universities. And so now would be a great time to order one if you haven't already done so. Talk to your music teacher about it. If you are so inclined, I'd greatly appreciate that. I always appreciate hearing from other music teachers who want to use it, so on, so forth. Gosh, it's been a really busy week. So I'm going to sign off. Thanks so much for listening, tuning in, and have a great week.